Welcome to the MMPC Women's History interview series. I am going to go ahead and get started. So I want to start by asking you if you can please state your name, the institution that you're connected to, and your affiliation with the MMPC.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for the invite to be here with you. I am Carol Elias. I am a professor in the Department of Molecular and Integrated Physiology in the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And I am the director of the MMPC Live in Michigan since 2021, I believe. This is my role.
Thank you so much. And I love that we're actually talking to a director because I think these questions are going to be so befitting to the role that you have and just the impact that you're making. My first question is, were research, science, and even academia modeled for you to be successful in the specific field and the current field that you're in?
You know, I grew up in Brazil, so I'm not, I came to US to do my postdoc and came again to do a sabbatical, and I'm here for about 20 years now. So during this trajectory, I met different people in a very different role. My mentor, my postdoc supervisor, my colleagues in the department. So it's hard to say one person was the model for me, but probably my teacher in high school, biology teacher in high school, that just was very always asking us tricky questions, making us think in the science and biology. So yeah, there's so many people that are in my career and trajectory that they're very inspiring in many ways.
I love that. And even coming from Brazil to America, and you said you've been here 20 years and working and doing research and being a scientist. What would you say is, I guess, well, you kind of mentioned your high school teacher. Do you feel like there was one specific thing that your high school teacher said, or was it really just the challenging questions that they would ask you that made you more curious about the field that you're currently in or the field that you were going to end up pursuing?
Yeah, I think my high school teacher just instigating me the curiosity about science. But when I decided to do biological sciences in college, I remember while listening to a class talking about the central nervous system and how the things work, how they are connecting, how they sense the external world and integrate this information to then respond in different ways. That was so amazing. I was really, when I had that class, I remember very well. We were talking about the suprachiasmatic nucleus and the circadian regulation, and I was just in love. And I think at that moment, I decided that I need to know more about the brain and how the brain controls physiology, body physiology, and how the brain reacts to the environment as well. So I think that was the main point that I decided this is what I'm going to do.
I find it so fascinating how one seed of curiosity can spawn an entire career, and I mean, it changes your life. So I think that's so awesome, and thank you for sharing that, Dr. Elias.
And you know that I am also a professor, so I teach, and I think one of the most gratifying thing is to see the eyes of the student when they learn something that they didn't know, and they just open the eyes and like, oh my God, this is how it works. So I love to see this in the eyes of my students, and I think it's very gratifying for what we do in academia.
Absolutely. And I'm sure it's almost kind of like a callback to when your eyes were open for the first time.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's so
maybe.
cool. What role has working with or for the MMPC played in your career thus far?
Well, I think was I like this more administrative role. I am also director of the neuroscience graduate program in the University of Michigan, and I was not planning to do this to be in this dual director position, but it happened. So I needed to cover a professor that was retiring. But for me, I enjoy doing this. I think it's when you wanted something to work or you have ideas that you can transform things, you need to just go to this function, like apply and do what you think is right, is going to work. So I learned a lot. First time that I was interacting with other colleagues like Julio in Vanderbilt, the guys from UC Davis and Yale. It's nice to see how everybody wants to help, how they will work in a collaborative way, and how everybody wants to see that we can serve the community in a better way. So I think this was a very, very nice to see. And also interacting with Chris and Raj from NIH and learning how how things work, and what's behind the scenes and how projects are interesting to NIH or not, and all the discussion. I learned a lot with this. Yeah, it's not science, but it's a lot to do with science. And I think this, what is how things work outside the laboratory. And I think I learned a lot doing this job.
I've heard that byline of collaboration a lot when I've spoken to other MMPC affiliates and those who work with the MMPC, and they just always rave about the helpful nature of the MMPC and also the collaboration. So I just think that you're just another person who echoes that same sentiment. I just have a few more questions. What's one thing you've done in your career that your younger self would be proud of?
I think I'm proud of taking some risks. When I came to do my sabbatical and decided to stay in US, I had a very stable position in Brazil. So I was a professor with tenure in Brazil, and I had the opportunity to come to US and without tenure. And I was like, well, how someone with a stable career will do this? And I just wanted more a challenge in my life and to do a different type of science that I was doing. And I think I'm very proud of being courageous enough and decided to just change and try again.
And your risk led you to becoming the director times two at Michigan. Yes. So I think you made the best calculated risk, honestly. And I'm sure your younger self would absolutely be proud of where you are today.
Thank you.
How do you gauge success in this field as a woman? Because I've known this field to be a very male-dominated field, and I just think that even in the position that you are as a director, you really stand, kind of in the gap for a lot of people that look like us. And so how do you gauge success in this?
Yeah, this MMPC is out there for 25 years probably. That's the first time that when MMPC starts, the first request for applications, I think it was 25 years probably. And this is the first time that we have a woman as a director. And I remember talking to Maureen from NIH, IDDK, and Rachel from Yale. We were just having a coffee together. And she said, I'm so happy to see you join this group, because before was only males and myself. So I think, so in the first 20 years, we had no women being part of the higher positions in the MMPC, and this is the first time. So I'm very proud of it. I think it's not easy, but you learn how to deal with this, because this happens in your career all the time. So you are exposed to all sorts of things. Well, I don't think this is the moment to discuss these issues, but it's harder for women to be successful. We see that more women works in the basic levels of science in academia, and even in the neuroscience program, we have 60% of students are women. But if you look at all the directors, all the in the leadership, they're men. It's the great majority are men. I think in the University of Michigan, they are trying to change this a little bit, and there are some changes that have been done. I think the fact that we are more aware of it also makes things change more quickly. So I'm happy this is happening. It's not ideal. It's take time. It's still slow, but it's happening. So I think it's just a matter of time that we're going to see that it's more like 50-50, like the people in science and people in the world. 50-50 is what it should be.
That's amazing, Dr. Elias. And I feel like I'm truly speaking to a woman who is making history. Seriously. So I think this is just, you're perfect to be starting off this series, honestly. And my last question is, what's one piece of advice that you would give to a young woman in STEM today?
Don't be intimidated. And I think we don't need to be aggressive. I don't think to be aggressive helps in any part of our lives. But we need to look for fairness. Things need to be fair, and don't be intimidated to speak when you think that things are not fair, and just to try to go and do your dreams, what really want to do, if you have the opportunity, because I think this is the most important part of the game, is to have the same opportunity for everybody. And of course, this doesn't happen. So if you have the opportunity, don't be intimidated. This is my advice.
And that's absolutely amazing advice. And I also believe you serve as your own testimony to that, to be honest. You took the calculated risk, and you are where you are for that reason. So I thank you, Dr. Elias, for kicking off our Women's History Month series.
Thank you very much.
This was absolutely incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.